Opposed to talking to fence people. And man on a mission. I'm on a mission to find out what question. So, needless to say, it's a little early to be up. It's 3:10. But I got a fairly reasonable amount of sleep last night. Today, I hope to get my Adderall, but until then, I have a little tide over Adderall. And once that kicks in a little bit, I plan to make some coffee. I do feel fairly tired and worn out. Had a long day yesterday. But woke up, couldn't get back to sleep, so here we are. Gotta go to the store today. We're totally out of stuff. So what do you have to talk about, Eric? Well, it's interesting. I had a lot of things in mind to talk about last night, and then I decided to go to bed instead of talking about any of those things. I'm not sure what's the deal with this smell in here, but I think one of the cats must have peed on the carpet because I can still smell it. This trash right here, but I don't know about that. I would be well served to do a little additional cleaning today. I don't like that smell at all, whatever it is. OMG, OMG, OMG. Hi, Boba Fett. Yeah. Well, I aim to please. That's not uncommon. So anyway, just more or less waiting for the speed to take effect. And helping your mom have a Merry Christmas. Those are the things I do. Yeah. A lot of women and men, I suppose, have called me puddle inducing. Puddle induction. My expertise is puddle induction. So I will pull my first bong rip of the day. I noticed Flow Street was streaming. I thought, wow, it's got to be 6 in the morning where he is. Well, presumably they've been going all night, you know? Puddle-inducing beers. No, it's my puddle-inducing masculinity, Boba Fett. It just moistens panties, well, soaks, you could say. Soaks panties the world around. What with my rugged good looks and suave seduction style, that's why they call me the puddle inducer. One thing I've heard from women, why does it smell like cat piss? Horrible. Puddles everywhere get induced by my masculinity. When I walk down the street, as I pass women, they all go like this. Ooh! Trying to hold in their puddle. Ruddle Pumpkins Puddle Induction. That's the name of my business. I'm Ruddle Pumpkin, and my business is puddle induction. Well, good for him. He's doing God's work. Maybe Cone Man 3 can go there. And learn about corporations. Yeah, when I saw he was live, I thought briefly about joining that stream, but then I thought, nah, I don't feel like interfacing with others. I feel like action deliberating by myself. That was a weird bong rip. Shit, you know, it tasted like DMT. I don't know why, how it would come to be the case that DMT got into that bong rip, but still, nevertheless, the case. The Buddhist guy has nice hair. Well, certainly nice hair counts for something. Okay, kitties, here. You want me to bring it over here? Oh, my wet kitty. Have you been out in the rain? Copia is all wet. I guess my puddle induction works even on cats. Hustler's ambition? I don't know what hustler's ambition is. Obviously, Eric, you have no idea what it is. Or else you'd be more successful. I'll check it out. Hustler's Ambition, 50 Cent. Okay, I'll check it out. It's got a good title. You know, reminds me of my teenage years when I had an ambition to get a copy of Hustler magazine. Which, at the time, many said was America's finest pornography magazine. I can't mute you. I don't have mute on this. Okay, let me pull this bong rip. Then we'll be getting ready to start the day. The flavor of bong rip. And I've had too much caffeine, and now I'm thinking about myself, and there she was. I smell Rex and Mindy. Yeah. Yeah, there's no like mute or turn the camera off button on a live stream. When you're streaming, you can't go dark, you know. You can't have dead air without disconnecting. But I will check it out. Hustler's Ambition is an easy title to remember. I didn't have to look up to remind myself of what it was. Big cost for little Eric. Who's a big coffee coffers? Is it me? Yes, it is. You're such a big coffee coffers. Aw. Aw, jeez. But do you like Nilla wafers? No, I'm not condemning you for it. I'm just saying it seems like a strange favorite cookie. Nilla wafers. Not Nilo wafers. Nilla wafers. I think they're a little plain. You know? They're kind of like animal crackers, not shaped like animals. All the animals are circles. Now, I tell you what is truly one of those who doesn't love it kind of things. Angel food cake. It's hard to get good angel food cake because real angel food cake is made out of actual angels. Don't be fooled by just any old sponge cake. Okay, there. That should help a little bit. My silly Capio was all wet a second ago. It's raining outside. She must have been outside, you know. Now she's playing litter box time. Which is another way of saying make more work for Eric. What question? What question do we ask today? Where are my pants? Is that the question we ask? What person is that? When did Columbus sail America? Why did who and where? What are you all hyper about, kitty? Are you hyper because it's so wet outside? And you feel a little bit of cabin fever? Well, as the amphetamines course through my veins, I'm beginning to feel a little bit more alive. Alive with pleasure. It's a physically good sensation. It's not just head good. It feels like the tingles. Like old Chris Tingle. The patron saint of urine. Tingle is Old English for tinkle. I had to go to town last night after 8 o'clock to get cigarettes. An unfortunate extra drive I had to make yesterday, after I had driven all the way back from LA. We got here, and I had to go do hour and a half round trip to get cigarettes because it was too late for the boot jack store. So I had to go to Yosemite Liquors, which is all the way in town. It's kind of crazy to think about that, right? For me to get cigarettes is an hour and a half round trip. Unless I go early enough, in which case it could be like an hour round trip to Boot Jack and back. But if it's after 8 o'clock, I have to go all the way into town. It's pretty crazy to think. Here in the heart of California, I have to make an hour and a half round trip to get cigarettes. Oh, sure. I'd be wise to buy some cartons. But I don't know. I just don't feel like it. So I've decided that at least somewhat some of my recent, you might call pseudo-depressive states, general lack of enthusiasm, etc. It sometimes overtakes me. I think that might link to my periodic use of Clonopin. So, well, I've said it before. This month, I am truly devoted to not taking any Clonopin. I need to get that shit like fully out of my system. It's got such a long half-life that even though I don't take it every day, take it, every 2 days, every 3 days maybe. But I think it's negatively impacting me. I've heard a lot of negative things about it from people. Three moons down in galaxy to your left. That's where my pants are. Because the thing is, it's absolutely fair to say that over the course of the last year, maybe year plus, really, a year and a half, that I'm not the natively cheerful self that I once was. Not as cheerful. Like, I more or less want to be delighted to get up in the morning. Do I like smoking or is it habitual and routine? I mean, it's definitely a habit. It's kind of like an ADHD thing. I don't know. Certain contexts, I'll smoke more than others. Like, if I'm working or whatever, cleaning, doing stuff, then I smoke a lot less. We just got back from a road trip type something. Road trips are hard on the body, hard on the SI. I think it's an SI kind of hybrid ground area. Like, sometimes I like smoking. If it's been a while since I've had a cigarette, but by and large, it's just another way that I cope with the anguish of being. I probably would be well served to excise it from my repertoire of mias. But he's right here, Capio. Watch out. He's gonna jump out at you. Trouble? This cat. Well, I mean, I think that it's kind of exemplary of weak SI in some sense. Like Cameron, he smokes an occasional cigarette when he's hanging out with me, but doesn't smoke in general. Like doesn't seem to be prone to getting addicted to them or whatever. So, call it what you will. Weak SI, SE, Delilah Babes. She's an SE Dom, so maybe it has to do with SE. Now, SI polar is ENTJ and ENFJ. Oh. So, now I'm feeling different than I was before. What about SI? SI bipolar? I'm not familiar with that one. I do feel slightly wrecked. That's kind of normal to feel slightly wrecked. Hopefully, as the XRs kick in, I feel even more lively than I currently do. I have small plans for the day. I know I do need to go to the store. Probably answer a couple emails. Maybe what else? Try to get this cat pee smell out of the carpet. How frustrating to come home to that. Yes, it was raining, but it doesn't mean you can go pee inside the house. It won't do me any good to chop wood because I have no wood burning fireplace. I just have propane fake fireplaces. Oh, yes, Mr. Trouble. Daddy knows. Bipolar or strange doesn't make sense. Well, they call it bipolar, but it doesn't necessarily feature a depressive side. You know, Rachel has bipolar mania, which um, means that she'll spin out of control, not sleep at all, you know, go crazy. But bipolar is not a good term for it because she's not vacillating between two poles when that's occurring. She's just fully manic, you know. And clinically manic as a fugue state is very different than people behaving hyper or whatever. That sounds like a bad idea, show media. Well, you may have met misdiagnosed people. You may have also bipolar/bipolar mania may actually encompass more than one mental illness. It's umbrellaed under the same term. But the thing to note about bipolar mania is that it's a mental illness, not a disorder of some kind. As such, it can be put into full remission by medication. Yeah, it's in remission, you might say. Well, my experience with Rachel as she was going into a manic state was not that. I mean, it's pretty scary actually to see uh, a genuine like psychotic break. To see somebody be completely crazy, you know. Especially somebody that you know and love that it was, is now perfectly sane. It's, what's the word? Shocking. Feel like you're always teetering on the brink of it. I mean, you might be Boba Fett because you definitely don't get a lot of sleep. Rachel stayed up for like a week straight. Sort of. But I don't know. Kind of a heavy subject, really. Makes me think back to dark times. Rachel and I have a very good and loving relationship. We were able to get through very difficult stuff together, and really it didn't strain the relationship at all. Um, in some ways, it solidified it. It's an intense form of intimacy, you know? Watching your partner go through a psychotic break. It's an intense form of intimacy. You know, you've been through the trenches together. And we certainly have that, you know. We have been through the trenches together. Um, Good way to test how good of teammates you are, you know. Good teammates lean on each other in difficult times. They don't turn on each other in difficult times. You saw shit back in Nam? You and me both, man. You and me both. As I mentioned, I was the youngest ever recipient of the Silver Star at 2 years old. Congressional Medal of Honor as well. So I know all about that. And I got the Senate's Medal of Honorable Mention. So that's pretty good. Depends how far up the creek you lot are. Also, if one of you has a paddle. Yeah. Well, I mean, Rachel and I have stuck together through some pretty intense shit, really. Like, her psychotic break included things like squirting the inside of my dad's car with a hose and the garage door opener and breaking the garage door opener and leaving the hose running in the garage and running around and like pulling out people's Christmas decorations from their yard, getting chased home by the cops. Um, you know, crazy ass shit, right? And then having to try to find some hospital that did it work. Did it work for what purpose? She was going crazy. She was having a psychotic break. She hadn't slept in like over a week. This was a long time ago. She stopped taking the meds that weren't really working that she was on because they had her loaded up on all kinds of shit, lithium, yeah. She stopped taking them, went batshit crazy, you know. But then after going to New York for a bit and coming back here, we hired our own doctor and he cured her. So, you know, we've been through that together. We've been through the suicide of my dad together, which is pretty intense. He shot himself like 5 feet from where Rachel was sleeping. About, I don't know, 50 feet from me. Then there was the occasion when Rachel's mom threatened, did, say, like, if you leave with Eric, I'm disowning you. That was pretty dramatic. But all that stuff seems in the distant past now. Is this purgatory? Did the rapture just happen? I don't know. Maybe. But if yes, I didn't notice any change. I'm not that good at noticing things, so I wouldn't put too much weight into that. All you have is your blow up doll. Well, I mean, you've got your hand. You've got an internet's worth of pornography to choose from. You've got your pillow. You can kiss your pillow. Seems the same, based. No, he doesn't pee on his blow up doll. That would be degrading to it. Okay. You love Wendy? Who's Wendy? Is that your blow up doll? My pornography name is Pussy Willow Moisten Flaps. That's my name as a pornography actress. Pussy Willow Moisten Flaps. They make scary real ones in Japanistan. Japan doesn't have an Astan. You're making that up. Now I need to find my glasses. You know what? I'll just wear these glasses. These glasses should be fine for right now. We're just going out to the garage. You need a hero. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. What's this horse about? What's this channel about? Not horse. What's this channel about? It's about Eric and his ways. It's about life, truth, love, society, politics, religion, philosophy, consciousness. It's about making hilarious jokes. And it's about being very serious. And it's about medium stuff too. It's about your mom and your mom's mom. Pussy Willow Moisten Flops. It's about seducing Ugandan warlords. Yeah. You get a wonder point for that, Boba Fett. Oh my god. It's Wednesday. Wonder point values are doubled. That's 2 for you, Boba Fett. Yeah, we can help you, Pale Horse Rider. Tell me, what's your problem? What's wrong with you right now? Do you, A, need to find your soulmate? B, need to expel that toxic person from your life? C, learn how to manifest better? Which of it is? Which of it is? You know, warlords, I think, as a class of people, are probably neither any easier nor more difficult to seduce than anybody else. You know, say war princes, war ladies, warlocks. They're all equally easy or difficult to seduce, which is to say, they're seductive. Their ability to be seduced does not link directly with their war status. What about whore lords? Whore lords are also called pimps. They're the ones probably doing the seduction rather than being seduced, one would assume. If they're operating according to normal whore lord mechanics. These numbers can't be right. There can't be 25 people here right now. This channel is an unnecessary and unsuccessful promotion of Pepsi. This is Pepsi's least well spent advertising dollars. If there are actually 26 people right now here, why now all of a sudden? Why here? Why this moment? Oh, maybe it has something to do with the fact that my warning dropped off today. I haven't actually checked, but it was scheduled to drop off on the 20th of December. If in fact this number is accurate, 26 people here, which would be freaky, then I would have to conclude that having that warning on my channel must have suppressed it somewhat or something. But probably just the stats are wrong. Sometimes it puts wrong numbers up. Oh, it's a meat flap raid from Flow State. Oh, cool. Well, thanks, Flow State. Thanks. Heads up. I mean, hello and hello to everybody from Flow State's channel that came over here. Thank you to him for sending you over here. You probably won't find it nearly as stimulating as the back and forth on Flow State's panels. I hear today they were debating whether or not corporations are evil. The answer is obviously no. I side very much with Taylor on this point. In fact, I've been having arguments around here the last couple of days on this corporation point because Cone Man 3 came in wielding the ham-fisted sword of Noam Chomsky, which necessarily is going to trigger me, you know. Noam Chomsky is a trigger word for me, okay? In order to deal with people possibly saying Noam Chomsky, I have to carry a rape whistle. All questions are just slight variations of just one question. Is that question, do you want a sandwich? Bachowski has nunchucks. I believe those are pronounced nunchucks. 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 They're that's Chinese for sticks. Yeah, it's just alphabet letters and spaces. That's all it is. Everything you're saying is just alphabet letters and spaces. Corporations are nothing without the people, so the culprits are us, not the corporations. Bum 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 bum. You mean it was really me the whole time? The magic was inside of me the whole time? Wow. Corporation, to incorporate is simply to afford legal agency to your group or organization, to keep separate, say, the finances of the Ladies Auxiliary Club and Judy, the treasurer for the Ladies Auxiliary Club. Master Splinter. How anybody could object to being able to separate the finances of groups from individuals is beyond me. Oh, that's right. They have no idea what corporations are. It's like, do you hate your city? If not, then congratulations. Your municipality is incorporated. Just like your mom. Your mom's needlepoint business is also a corporation. It's an LLC. So in case there arrives a sharp dive in the needlepoint market, she won't go bankrupt and lose her home. Anybody who doesn't like corporations, they don't need to convince me of anything. They just need to stop using all products made by corporations. Go for it. Put your money where your mouth is. Of course, you won't be able to watch this, but I guess I'll have to live with that. You'll have your integrity. You love corporations and banks? Cool. I mean, I don't really have a lot of opinions about either corporations or banks. If you want to talk to me about a specific corporation or bank, I might have an opinion about that. For example, I will point out something very evil that I believe it was the Nestle Corporation did back in the 70s. This is the sort of shit that people are talking about when they don't like corporations, right? And I think corporations are the devil. What Nestle did back in the 70s is they gave free baby formula to poor women in South America and Central America, not informing them that it would cause their milk to dry up. And then, once their milk dried up, they made them pay for it. Now, that's what I call fucked up, right? That's some fucked up shit. Now you can't feed your baby. Unless you pay us. I mean, like, baby formula is a real first world indulgence, right? I'm a busy woman. I don't have time to let this baby suck on my tit all day. We'll just buy this expensive powder. That'll be a lot better. You mean you're buying cocaine? For the baby? No, it's baby formula. It just costs as much as cocaine. Baby formula is super expensive, by the way. In case you don't know. In case you've never had a baby before. I had one time. His name was Delilah. And until it got a little bigger, it ate breast milk for a while, and then it ate baby formula. Shit's expensive. Anyway, then it grew up, and now it's named Delilah still. But now it's an adult. It's no longer a baby. It's a girl adult. I think I should celebrate her birthday every year by having balloons that say it's a girl and cigars to hand out. And then I'd really be celebrating her birth, not just her existence, you know. She was a quick birth. It's as though when her mother's water broke, that her mother's insides became a slip and slide. That's how quickly my daughter emerged from the womb. It's like, water's broke. Okay, we're at the hospital now. Okay, all of a sudden you're being rushed to the delivery room. Okay, there's the baby. It was like that. Nobody's saying fuck the little guy. And return on investment is a good thing for everybody who attains it, right? Like I said, anybody who doesn't believe in, who purports themselves to be kind of anti-capitalist, anti-industrialism, anti-corporations and stuff, just stop using all the corporate products you currently constantly use to express this insanity. Just please stop using your iPhone or whatever you've got. Stop using your computer. Stop using your car and or bicycle. Just, stop wearing any of your clothes. Stop eating any food that you don't grow yourself. Don't be a hypocrite. How about that? Well, sure. If you've got capital, return on investment matters a lot. People would like to be able to get wealthier without having to work proportionally harder. 2 new watchers? Obviously more than 2 if there really are 23 people here. I still find it hard to believe that's accurate, but maybe it is, because apparently Taylor sent people over here when he ended his stream, which was very nice of him and much appreciated. But, it could have something to do as well with, and we'll have to find out if it does over time. But it's conceivable. Let me check, see if it's actually gone. No, it's still there. Expires December 20th. What's the date today? December 20th. What time? December 20th. Well, it doesn't say what time. So it still hasn't expired yet. Maybe it expires in like 11:59 on December 20th, and so I have to wait till tomorrow really for it to expire. But I still have a warning. I'm still being warned. So you cannot attribute any new arriving people to that. But are record profits necessary? Um, well, I mean, it, I don't even want to engage such nonsense. It's like, you have to think about the way things work, right? Somebody is putting together a system to make money. Somebody else is looking to get a job to make money. The one person engages the other. The first person takes on all the risk because certainly early on they don't know for sure if their business is going to work or not. The employee gets a steady paycheck, just has to do their job, etc. That's what they get. If, in fact, they feel as though they're getting fucked by their employer, well, I got fucked by an employer one time pretty good. And yeah, it was a corporation, I suppose, but it was a corporation that she started from scratch that I built all their program architecture for. And then she fired me because we started butting heads at a certain point, and she fired me for specious reasons, and she was a fucking horrible person. But there's no disputing that the years that I worked there and became the director of the place and won national championships and shit, that those years of employment and meaningful work that I was doing were not wasted. We accomplished some great things together, even though she was horrible. If I bought stock in a company and they grew a conscience at the expense of profits, I would be pissed, not gonna lie. Sure, we all would. But Uncle Fatty he's not interested in understanding the world as it is or as it presents to him as an individual. Rather, he's interested in platypusing, you know. Platypusing, for those who don't know, is taken from a Phineas and Ferb episode in which Dr. Doofenshmirtz has a platypus controlling him. He's underneath the table. He's got glue on his fingers and he just can't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. I got records in my hands and I just can't stop. Anyway, at the end of it, all the teens, the kids, the juveniles. They say, "Oh, I get it. A platypus is a metaphor for whatever's keeping you down. Corporations are a platypus. The government's a platypus. Society is a platypus. Your teachers are a platypus." That's what you're doing, Uncle Fatty. You're just platypusing, like the teenagers do. It's it's not a productive endeavor. Trust me. I've gone over this before with people. I've explained it before. Well, the CEO and upper ladder folks can demand the kind of money they can demand and are paid the kind of money they are paid because stockholders deem them of sufficient significance to the value of the company to justify the expense, right? Certain elements, certain individuals and positions are more critical to the success of a company than others, and some individuals are less replaceable than others. So it'll probably be more or less irrelevant to the average employee, but if the CEO makes the company 5 times more profitable, then all the investors are going to benefit from that, either in dividends or just capital appreciation. And the thing is, there are millions and millions and millions of regular Americans who are not rich, who are heavily invested in the stock market. In other words, all your publicly traded corporations are owned by you and me. And appropriately, we want to see those corporations do well. Because what's it require for a corporation to do well? They have to provide a good or service that people actually need and want and are willing to pay for. So that's why we are able to enjoy this conversation. Because profit's a good motivator to make people useful. Well, like when you have employees who are doing jobs where they have to be the outliers in terms of quality to do that job, such as professional athletes, then you see salaries are definitely proportional to profits. But it's also important to remember the trade-off that each of us makes when we become an employee rather than, say, an entrepreneur or something. Um, I've run a small business before, and just I couldn't continue running it for very long, a few years, you know. Then I just basically threw up my hands. It's very complicated, very complicated. You've got a lot of different balls in the air at all times. You got to wear a lot of different hats, and at the end of the day, all the financial responsibility is on you. You got to pay people regardless of whether you're doing better or worse. You got to pay people when they work. There's no like um, there's no decentralizing the risk. No, I mean absolutely not. They're not just as valuable as the CEO. So when I started autonomy debate school, the way that I was able to attract clients was predicated on my history of top level success as a debate coach, my actual competency and skill, etc. I needed employees to help me run a school assistant coaches and stuff. But um, it's like at the beginning of the year, I'm not even sure how many, what I'm going to earn in profits over the course of a year. All I know is I'm going to try to pay, minimum of $20 an hour to whoever it is that works for me and give them raises accordingly if they deserve it, and I was constantly having to go back and forth between, can I afford to have the extra help I'd like to have right now, or do I need to do this myself? So, in the end, did I make more money on the thing than my employees? Yeah, and yeah, for a few years, maybe a couple years, sure. Uh, but at the same time, I did way more, right? I had to do all the I had to wear all the hats. I had to be the business owner, the head coach, meow, 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 meow. So plus the whole viability of the business was predicated on my strength and ability as a coach. So of course I should make more money. Should I have to hire people as though the labor market weren't the labor market, but instead a profit sharing deal that I didn't sign up for and that nobody else engages in? No, that's not how it works. You need to have predictable costs, including, labor costs, or else you'll go out of business. Well, you're not the only one. There are plenty of businesses who have that kind of profit sharing model, believing that better, more motivated, and more well compensated employees lead ultimately to a growing business and ever bigger profits for the business owner. But remember, what's important here, Uncle Fatty, is you are making that choice. As the business owner, as the corporation, you are empowered to make that choice. And the same is true for every other such business enterprise. And isn't that wonderful that they're all empowered independently to make decisions appropriate for them rather than decisions other people think are appropriate? Well, let me tell you, Uncle Fatty, it was some years back that I was hiring for autonomy. But we paid about that. Kudos too. But again, some years back. I'm sure we'd have to pay more than that now. Um, the thing is, in debate coaching, um, there's a big labor shortage in only one specific very key area, which is actual debate coaches. Speech coaches are a dime a dozen. Assistant whatevers are a dime a dozen. Regular classroom teachers are a dime a dozen. Tutors, whatever, are a dime a dozen. But people who actually know how to coach debate, it's a very specialized field. You have to have a lot of specialized knowledge. You almost certainly have to have competed in debate yourself. And you, only a tiny fraction of people who debated are good debate coaches or end up have the ability to be or whatever. So qualified debate coaches demanded substantially more money. than like an assistant coach like Abraham, who just had him coaching Congress and speech events. I did all the debate coaching myself because that's a lot more expensive. Because parents, like rich Chinese parents, if you can get their kid to win debate tournaments, they're willing to pay a lot for that if you're a winner, you know? Difficult and stressful, sure, sometimes, but I don't have inverters. I coached multiple places, but I started coaching first at Rebay Academy, which is a Los Angeles K through 12 private school. And then I became the director of Kudos College of Youth Leadership, which is a private debate competition debate school that was focused on middle school. And then I started Autonomy Debate, which is another private competition debate school. Oh, investors. Yeah, well, it's like it's better not to have investors if you're running a profitable business. Um, who needs investors, right? Investors just lay claim to some of the profits. Yeah, thanks. It was very cool, actually. I really enjoyed the work. Sounds like you enjoy your work as well. I can imagine. Um, I may end up needing to do a little building around here in Mariposa, depending on what ends up happening with things. We're trying to get a clear overview of everything right now so we can know what we need to do. But it's like we almost bought this property, which if we had bought it, and we probably should have, we would have needed to do a little construction on this one building to make it into a one bedroom house instead of a electrified office space or whatever. It needed to have a built-in closet to qualify as a one bedroom house. That kind of thing. We may pull the trigger next time on something equivalent. Then I'll have to be engaging some contractors myself, possibly. I saw these people down the street down there are building these little houses. They're having them built. They look like one bedroom houses, I guess. And I was gonna go ask those people. I was like, I want to ask them, how much does it cost to put up one of these little houses? They're not prefab, but they're like kind of modular, you know? Because I wonder if you can put up one of those little one bedroom houses for how much it costs. Is it less than 100 grand? Is it 100 grand? Is it more than 100 grand? They aren't very big or complicated or anything. But obviously they pour a foundation, you know, build the structure, they put windows all around it and stuff. They're still working on the second one. The first one is done enough that they don't have to cover it up with like a tarp when it rains. Hi, Carlos Paiva. How are you this morning? Today we're talking about contractors building things, how much it costs to build stuff. kind of look like, I guess they just sort of like built the beams skeleton of it, and then it looked like they put in kind of panels or something as the wall. I'm not sure what that was. And then they just put in these windows and stuff. Well, you know, I will tell you this, Uncle Fatty. I am a spectacularly good carpenter as long as the only thing you want done as far as carpentry is random freestyle whittling with no expectations as to what's going to come out. Then I'm your man as a carpenter, because I'm occasionally a semi-passionate freestyle whittler. Usually I'll start with a stick and I'll end with a stick that's had some stuff carved off of it. It's mostly my directionality in woodworking. I actually have a woodworking table in the shed down there because this house came with one. But haven't used it. Lived here almost a year now. Have not even like cleaned up the shed down there. Like, it's got stuff on top of it, the woodworking table, you know. I'd need to move the stuff off of it. I think rather than, ew, horrible. Don't tell me. Oh. Well, never mind that. Alright, so if I'm going to make coffee, I'm going to have to make it in the Supreme Home Coffee Station Extravaganza Coffee Making Extravaganza, which is this right here. First thing first, empty out the old coffee. That includes the grounds, which come in this big round thing on top. Once you've knocked out some grounds, then it's time to rinse out some grounds, okay? Because they get stuck. We're going to use this squirter. The squirter helps you to get more of the coffee grounds free from your grind folding circle. And get it from the front, get it from the back, get it from the top, get it all right. Just like sex. No, not just like sex. You shouldn't poke a girl in her butthole. Okay? That's dirty. And unhygienic. Life rules from Eric. In my version of C.S. Josephine. I've got some life rules for you. You shouldn't put your penis in a girl's butt because it's dirty back there. One of Eric Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life. God damn it. stupid Eric. God. Why am I so dumb? Why am I always the most stupid one? Is it because I'm too young? No, I'm very old. Okay. There. Having cleaned up that mess, next time I will not accidentally push the spigot dispenser thing with my body while carrying the coffee. That was my mistake, you see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry you with me either. Here. Just stand here for a second. And watch this general direction. Okay, well that took a little bit longer than I had hoped. But you know what they say, you can't rush art. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm engaging in the art of coffee making. It's not merely a craft. Okay. Next, I'll bring you over here to show you what's happening because this is all important stuff that you should be taking notes about, writing down, referencing later how to do this stuff that I'm doing. What I did is I took this into the laundry room where I have a deep laundry sink, and I filled this about to meow with cold water. Okay. Well, how is that going to become coffee, you ask, Eric? There's another couple of steps here that one needs to engage in. This step is called putting the meow in the hole. There you go, cat. And then we'll go ahead and transition to the next step, which is called putting the meow in the mirror. So this morning, we're going to be going with McCafe. This is the same kind of coffee purportedly that they use at McDonald's. And I didn't feel it super full, so we're just going to give it a little sprinkleroo, a little bit of a dinkly sprinkles, and a bit of a sprackly sprocks. Just like that. Okay? And then let's go, you guys. You crazy cats are crazy cats. All right. If you thought the adventure was over, the story was done, and you were just confused, I still don't get how coffee's going to come out of there. Well, you prematurely determined that the story was over. You turn this lid on like I just did there, and then you have to push this button right here. By pushing this button, you switch the machine from the status off to the status on. Now, wipe up any wipings that need to be wiped with your wiping stick, in this case a paper towel. And then you get a non-coffee beverage to drink while you're waiting for your coffee to finish. For me, that non-coffee beverage is actually unusually, atypically, perhaps, for me. But nevertheless, so in this case, there's going to be water. Not a huge water drinker, but when I do drink water, I prefer Dos Equis. It's actually Per Agua. P-U-R-A-Q-U-A, Per Agua. That's the brand. It's Per Agua brand purified water. Everybody's favorite flavor in water. Are you roasting your own beans? Are you roasting your own? So anyway, the coffee is now starting to cook in the percolator. If you've not had percolated coffee, or maybe you weren't aware of this or whatever, but if you're like most people, you probably use a drip coffee maker to make coffee at home. I was among the population of drip coffee maker users myself for my entire life. Every once in a while, I'd make so-called cowboy coffee if I didn't have a drip coffee maker functional, broke or something, which is simply you put coffee in a pot with water, let it come to a boil, and then strain it into your cup. It's that simple, That's cowboy coffee. French press is mechanized cowboy coffee. It's got the straining part built in. What happened though was Rachel and I had a wedding to plan, and we bought a big coffee making thing for the wedding. Just figured we'd need more than 1 or 2 pots of coffee. Kind of envisioning maybe we'd make the coffee in the drip coffee maker and pour it into this thing. Well, when I finally got it all unpacked and everything, was months after the wedding. It was instead in time for the home tour in December, like 6 months after the wedding. We actually used this thing for the first time. And then I realized at that point, this is a percolator, a coffee percolator, and figured out how it worked. I made a mistake the first time. I tried to put a coffee filter in the top thing, not accepting that those little holes were. I figured it let too much grinds through. But if you put a coffee filter there, it doesn't work at all. So the whole point about percolated coffee is it's the same concept as drip coffee, basically, except drip coffee goes through the coffee slower one time. Percolated coffee goes through the coffee much quicker, but goes through it multiple times. For some reason, that differentiation in the process, who knows why, percolated coffee tastes way better than um, than drip coffee. I'm not gonna compare against French press. I don't know. I don't remember especially loving French press, but um but I am a big fan of percolated coffee. I, it's kind of shocking. It's like, oh, this tastes like coffee you get at a diner, like Denny's or something. They probably percolate their coffee. I don't know. It tastes like good restaurant coffee. Big disadvantage of percolators is the way they rebrew coffee over and over. This shocks the grounds and produces an overly bitter, strong coffee taste. Well, the thing is, show media, it does get stronger over time. Like drinking percolated coffee a is a relationship with an amount of coffee, right? It starts off a little on the weak side, and that's fine. And then it ends up a little too strong, you know? But I can drink percolated coffee black and it's not I think that's the opposite of that. I think it's less bitter than drip coffee. I don't know why, but I find it less bitter. It's now obviously if you let it go too long, then you're in trouble. But the thing is it's like this has two modes. It's got heating mode, in which case it's actively percolating, and then it's got keep warm mode, in which case I think it maybe it still occasionally percolates. I don't know. But the other thing is, it doesn't burn um, it doesn't burn like coffee burns at the bottom of a coffee pot. You know. Expect a knock on my door in one, two, three. That would be freaky if, in fact, somebody knocked on the door right now. That would be straight from a horror film. Except I'd be a big titted co-ed instead of a old toothless man. Something's scaring me. That's my imitation of a big titted co-ed. Were you convinced? Did you think I genuinely was a big titted co-ed for a second? Yeah, you know, I've been bleeding Taylor referrals slowly for the last hour or so. That's fine. Feel pretty excited to have gotten over at one point over 25 viewers here. Pretty impressive. Pretty rare. Speaks to the power of Taylor, I guess, and his referral. Well, big titted co-eds, the one problem with being a big titted co-ed is that you have a high likelihood of dying in some gruesome murder. Your likelihood goes up if you're in a sorority, but it only goes down slightly if you're not. So, likelihood increases even more if you're named Amber or Brittany. So Amber's, Brittany's, even Kimberly's get killed all the time. A co-ed is a female college student. The term goes back to like the days when women started being allowed to go to school at the same school with men. It's a somewhat antiquated term, kind of dated. That's why I like to use it. I remember when I was a teenage boy having periodic copies of Penthouse Forum magazine, which instead of having pictures in it, had stories. Many of these stories were about one or more hot, young, big-titted co-eds. Well, Uncle Fatty, as I like to say, that song was written about my cat, whose name is Trouble, and who has AIDS. And that's why the true lyrics to the Taylor Swift song are, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. You gave me cat AIDS. The record label made her change the lyrics, though. She stomped her foot and said, hey, stop discriminating against cats with AIDS. But they said, no, we don't want your love affair with a cat to tarnish your wholesome image. On this day, December 26, in 1865, James Mason of Franklin, Massachusetts, registered the first U.S. patent for a coffee percolator. Wonderful. You think I could be a narrator at a historical museum, narrating things like that when you push a button so it reads it to you, you know? Thanks. So, obviously, the problem that I was discussing before explains my advocacy group, Compassionate Citizens to Protect Big-Titted Co-eds, or CCPBC, or CCPCC. No, it's PBC. Okay, so it's cock pubic. that's the anagram for it. C, little O, C, P, little U, B, little U, C. Cock pubic. Or it could be a little I. Cock pubic. That's the name of the organization. The anagram of which is CCPBC. Where's the T? Where is the T? What is the T? That's my first question. What is the T? And then maybe I'll be able to answer the question, where is the T? And if not, maybe I'll be able to provide guidance as to how you might get that question answered. Oh, well, okay, I see. Okay, you make a valid point. Zayad, Lahua, La, La, Hoa. I have no idea how to say that. The T, because two is a little word, I thought maybe it didn't deserve to be in there. But if you were going to put the T, CCTPBC, then that would be cocked pubic. Cocked pubic. Yeah, cocked pubic is the acronym for the concerned citizens to protect big-titted co-eds. Do you think if they banned tipping and made a mandatory tip on every bill, people would dine out more because it's less annoying to think about? Maybe. If you go with an S corp on LLP or LLP. Me, I had an LLC. Do you think? Do I think that? Well, I think that people don't like certain things that ask you to tip. There was a weird one the other day. I was like, no. It was like for a hotel or something. Do you want to tip the like the check-in person? Like, no. This is ridiculous. Tip everybody in life or what? I do think the tip for everything is out of hand. I do think that. But in circumstances where one normally tips, I tend to tip well. I don't, I'm not super chintzy or whatever. I guess if somebody performed their service poorly enough, I might not tip them very well. But I'd still probably tip 15% or whatever. If you spank me after a purchase, maybe, or you might get a lawsuit instead, depending. Depending on where you spank and how hard or what. If you're gonna spank me, don't spank my bottom. Where would you like me to spank you? My face. Yeah, it's called slapping, actually, not spanking. It's called face spanking. Really, there's only one part of the body that you can slap that gets its own special verb, and that's your butt cheeks. place else you slap on your body, you're just slapping it. But cheeks are the exception. Think about it. Think about it. Okay, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up and try to do something other than this. Oh, there's 20 people here now. It's so rare for me. I might as well just continue streaming until I dwindle away participants with my lack of excitingness. But I'll tell you what is exciting. This is pretty exciting stuff. This is my ultimate supreme home coffee machine. It's probably not ready yet, but I'm going to give it a quick gander anyway. Yeah, it needs a little more time. It does take a while to finish, but once this light over here, I'll show you the light right now. Once this light over here turns from red to orange, it's time. That's where the magic happens. Here's the light. Yeah. Currently, it's on heating. Stop leaking. The thing is, you have to turn it. Is it all this way? Yeah. You have to turn it all the way one direction. I'm not sure which one it is, or else it'll drip a little bit. There. That's better. Yeah, the percolator's back, but it's not finished with its business yet. I'll tell you what we need to do. A watched pot never boils. So instead of watching the percolator, because I don't want to fall victim to that law, because never is a very long time to wait. It's beyond like a week. Forever it's an awfully long time. Who sang that lyric and why? Also, here's a quick question. See if you can get the answer. What does it actually sound like when doves cry? Boo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Boo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Boo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Boo, hoo, hoo, hoo. That's what it sounds like when doves cry. I should probably put that up this short. It's another joke I made up. I'm trying to put up jokes that I make up as shorts, if for no other reason than to catalog them. But, you know, at any given moment, I can only remember certain jokes. I now recall that joke. I should put that one up. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Did Taylor quit smoking? I haven't seen him smoking in any of his recent panel discussions and whatnot. I wonder if he quit smoking. Or if alternately, I just haven't been there in the moment when he steps out to smoke or something. Every hour on the hour. Every Wednesday. Give a Ric Flair woo. Yeah, won't report it. Prince Rock's best guitarist of his time. He was quite a great guitarist. It's an interesting comment because people normally don't say that about him. You know, he wrote some great songs, and he was indeed a fantastic guitarist. He did really interesting things with the guitar that people weren't doing at the time. You know, like at Darling Nikki. What a weird song. You know, it's pretty great song. Like, really excellent songwriting. I saw him live at the Forum before he died. Did he also die of like some fentanyl thing like Michael Jackson did? I guess Michael Jackson died of like profithanol or something, but it's in the same kind of class of drugs as fentanyl. I think that's also how Prince died, right? And then Matthew Perry was in the K hole when he died. That's why he drowned. It's like, why would you do that much? Why would you don't do ketamine in a hot tub, okay? Everybody out there, do it sitting down or lying down, and you'll be fine. Sad. It's scary to imagine. And bassist as well. I've collabed with CeeLo Green. Crazy. Show performance. I also saw Justin Timberlake one time in Las Vegas with my ex-wife. She was a big Justin Timberlake fan. Put on a good show. It was a small venue in Vegas too. So we didn't have super great seats. There were seats. It wasn't like general admission, but it was pretty small venue. I didn't feel like we were very far away. They were kind of expensive tickets, I think. Yeah, she was a big Justin Timberlake fan. I was like, well, that sounds interesting. It was in his like, I'm bringing sexy back. It was like that era. I'll tell you one thing you may or may not know about Justin Timberlake. He's an excellent beatboxer. He beatboxes very well. I didn't expect that. I didn't think when I went to go see Justin Timberlake, hey, I'm going to see a good exhibition of beatboxing here. But I did. And by the end of it, I was convinced, all right, Justin, you have brought sexy back. Yeah, that fentanyl shit will kill you, man. I wouldn't recommend taking it. But just because Matthew Perry died of ketamine doesn't mean I'm saying ketamine will kill you. Because just don't sit in a hot tub while you're doing ketamine. Probably a good idea for lots of different kinds of drugs to not sit in a hot tub while doing them. You know what I say about hot tubs? Hot tubs, schmott tubs. Oh yeah, I've seen that video. I've seen the one where CeeLo Green's with Daryl Hall playing one of Daryl playing a Hall and Oates song. Which I can't go for that. Oh, but no, he died of drowning. He did so much ketamine in the hot tub that he went in the K hole and then he just was basically paralyzed. The toxicology report said he had as much ketamine in his system as a surgical patient would. So, you know, don't do K in a hot tub. Just like don't do nitrous oxide standing up. Always sit down before you do whippets. I would recommend not doing whippets because they can and will eventually give you, if you do a lot of them, give you neuropathy. But certain rules for doing drugs, right? If you're going to do a drug that makes you like pass out or something, don't be standing up. Don't be in a hot tub or a bathtub or whatever. Yeah. Now there's some morbid humor. Boba Fett, is this your second Wonder Point today? Or therefore your fourth? Because it is Wonder Points Wednesday. You get a Wonder Point for that very dark joke. That's about as dark as a joke can get, but still getting a Wonder Point. Um, I can't go for that. It's a great song. I have a couple of Hall and Oates songs on my playlist, which is very contemporary heavy. Like it's got a lot of new music on it. It doesn't have much old stuff, but I respect good songwriting. Hall and Oates has some really well written songs. You know. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Whoa, here she comes. She's a man eater. It's a good song. It's soulful. That guy's got some soul, that Daryl Hall. Apparently, he and John Oates came to blows. I don't know if you've heard. Or John Oates punched Daryl Hall or something like that. Pretty shocking stuff. What? Hall and Oates at odds? Yes, they were at odds. Hall said, I'm sorry, Oates, your saxophone playing is not good enough. Did Oates play the saxophone or did he just play the bass? I think Oates played the saxophone as well. Whatever happened to Jennifer Page? I have no idea who that is. Rich Girl is, according to some, the most copied song ever, not lyrically, structurally, the chord progression and layout. Rich Girl, huh? I don't know that one, I don't think. It's just a little crush girl. Hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know that song. But I'm now inclined to attempt. Who knows if it's going to work? I don't know. I'm going to look it up. I'll see how hard it looks. But I have a sudden inclination, you might say, even urgent need to look up the chords and lyrics for Man Eater. They used to call me man eater too, but it was because I was a cannibal. Let's see how it plays. Let's see how it plays. She only come out at night, the lean and hungry type. Nothing is new, I've seen her here before. Watching and waiting, oh, she's sitting with you, but her eyes are on the door. So many paid to see what you think you're getting for free. The woman is wild as she cat tamed by the Perth Jaguar. Money's the matter. If you're in it for love, you ain't gonna get too far. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Plays pretty good, actually. Let me scroll down to verse 3. I wouldn't if I were you. I know what she can do. She's a deadly man. She could really rip your world apart. Mind over matter. Oh, the beauty is there, but the beast is in the heart. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Yes, because she eats men. That reminds me of that Fine Young Cannibal song. Meow, 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 meow. Remember that one? Remember this? So, in case you were thinking of trying to make that woman your girlfriend, the message of that song is she's actually a whore. So, you're not going to really find love there, you know? More like transactional sex. That's the message of that song. Still not quite ready. Also, I realized something terrible. I got some terrible news. We don't have any coffee creamer. I desperately need to go to the store. What's the point of even having coffee if you don't have creamer? I'm just gonna pretend like by some miracle maybe there's some coffee creamer in here. No, there's not, Eric. You already know there's no coffee creamer in here. Stop lying to yourself. This is the face of sorrow and sadness. I don't even want to have any coffee without any coffee creamer. What's even the point? Might as well just have French fries with no salt on them. That would make more sense than having coffee with no coffee creamer. You've got to salt your fries if you stay alive. Otherwise, you surely will die of too little salt. Salting your fries now. It's important because you've got to salt your fries. No, it's called an LTD guitar. An LTD guitar. It's made in Indonesia, I believe. It's like mostly an electric guitar, but it's louder than a normal electric guitar. It's got a little bit of acousticiness to it. But my friend Dave Porter was here for our Christmas party, and he has a much more like acousticy. He's got the same kind of guitar as me, like a hollow body electric, but his is much more. He's got a lot more projection as an acoustic than mine does. Made me a little jealous. I felt like, aw, your guitar is cooler than mine. And I have a bass as well. It's an excellent bass. It's a wonderful bass. But I don't even know what brand it is at all, if it even has a brand exactly. It's a very ugly looking bass. Yeah, well, I'm happy with the guitar overall. I was really happy with it until I played with Dave's guitar and I realized, because most of the time I don't plug in my guitar, you know? Most of the time I'm just playing it like I was just playing it because you just don't need to be that loud. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, nothing. Yeah, nothing is bad, meow, meow. And meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow for me and my Bobby McGee. You know what Janis Joplin song I like? My favorite Janis Joplin song? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. Thus, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? I like that song. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Dialing for dollars is trying to find me. I'll wait for delivery each day until 3. So Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? I don't know what the rest of that is, but you like ball and chain? Well, please don't describe your sexual kinks to us, Winston Phone. Nobody asked, okay? Those are private things. All right. So I am going to wrap it up. I feel fairly sleepy, actually. I might go back to bed for a couple hours, get up, and then go to the store. Or I might watch a little bit of cartoons before I do. So thanks a lot for being here, everybody. What an exciting morning with so many people here for some stretch of time, anyway. Have a great day, and I'll probably talk to you later.